وقل رب زدني علما.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. Inshallah, we have the class of Tafsir from Surah Al-An'am, that's Surah 6, from verse 115. Verse 115, Surah Al-An'am. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته وهو السميع العليم. وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته وهو السميع العليم. And the word of your Lord has been fulfilled in truth and in justice. The word of your Lord has been fulfilled in truth and in justice. لا مبدل لكلماته, none can change his words. وهو السميع العليم, and he, Allah, is the all-hearer, the all-knower. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that his word is sidq, is a truth. And also it's al-adl, is justice. The people of knowledge said the sidq, the truth, refers to the akhbar, to the news, the information, what Allah mentioned about himself, what Allah mentioned about the universe, what Allah mentioned about life after death. The information is the news. So all the news mentioned in the Quran, all the news mentioned in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is fulfilled with truth. And the justice refers, al-adl refers to the rules and regulations and laws. That all the commands of Allah, all the prohibitions of Allah, all the orders of Allah, the lawful things, the unlawful things, the rulings, all that is based on justice, no oppression. Nothing injustice in the rule of Allah. Rather, all is justice based on al-adl. This is the way a believer should understand the wahy, the revelation. That everything Allah mentions, subhanahu, everything Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned is sidq, is truth. Also everything Allah Azza wa Jal legislated, everything His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam legislated is al-adl, is justice. وهو السميع العليم, and Allah is the all-hearer, al-alim, the all-knower. So one of the names of Allah, as-Sami', one of the names of Allah, al-Alim. As-Sami', the all-hearer, Allah hears all speech, all voices. And al-Alim, the all-knower, Allah knows everything. Even that which is in the hearts, in the mind, in the intentions of the people. Allah knows it. Huwa as-Sami' al-Alim. Also Allah has the description of hearing. Also Allah has the description of knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-knower. He alone knows everything. As for His creation, they never know except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them know. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. Nothing from the knowledge of Allah do they perceive but by His permission. Today you see technology, knowledge in many fields, worldly knowledge, have no doubt that all of it is only from Allah. All of it is only from Allah. Naam. From Allah, first because Allah gave human the tools and the means to know. Allah gave the human the hearing, the vision, the understanding. How a human being who doesn't understand, who mentally sick, how can he understand? How can he come up with technology? Someone who has no understanding. So this is the means first. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them to their knowledge. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decree. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based on His wisdom, knowledge. So for human, they cannot reach all knowledge. They cannot know everything. There are things they will never ever know. It's beyond their understanding, beyond their knowledge. Beyond their knowledge. From that is the descriptions of the blessings in Jannah. إن في الجنة ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. In the paradise, something that never even ever come to the heart of a human. Even that includes Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, because he was بشر. إنما أنا بشر مثلكم ولا خطر على قلب بشر. It never ever came to the heart of a human. That which is in Jannah is beyond our imagination, beyond our knowledge. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this ayah that His word is fulfilled with truth and justice. And Allah is As-Sami' Al-Alim, the all-hearer, the all-knower. So we should believe that Allah has this name As-Sami', has this name Al-Alim. Also we should believe that Allah has this description and attribute of hearing, this description of knowledge. Also we should act according to that. We should act according to that. If you believe, Alhamdulillah, we believe that Allah hears us, then we should be watchful of what we say in it, because Allah hears us. If we believe, Alhamdulillah, the believers, they believe that Allah knows everything, then we should be careful what we say and what we're doing. While we are with the people or while we are by ourselves, because Allah is Alim. Allah is Alim, subhanahu wa ta'ala. How about if Allah also made our body witness, either for us or against us? Even our skin, our body, our hands, our legs, our feet will be either proof for us or against us. As Allah said in Surah Fussilat, يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم. Surah An-Nur, يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون. The day that تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم, their tongue will witness against them. The tongue that day of judgment will not lie, will tell the truth. Not only the tongue, وأيديهم, the hands will speak. وأرجلهم, the legs, the feet, all that will talk. Not only that, even the earth will talk. يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها. Any place in which you did something good will witness for you. Any place in which you did something bad will witness against you. And all that is in Lawh al-Mahfuz. It's a book. Allah wrote down all that before He created the heaven and the earth, 50,000 years. So if someone believes that, and believers they believe, then they should act according to it. Allah hears me, Allah sees me, Allah knows me. Na'am, the believers, all of them, they believe. But remember that the belief is not in one stage. The belief is levels. There is a belief which is certainty, and there is a belief which doesn't reach that certainty. Yes, there's knowledge, there is al-ilmu, there is ilmu al-yaqeen, there is aynu al-yaqeen, there is haqqu al-yaqeen. So there is a knowledge, then there is a certainty. And that certainty has also levels. Now, whether you have certainty through knowledge, it's not like whether you have certainty through seeing it. And whether you have certainty through testing it and feeling it, it's not like whether you see it. It's way different. If somebody tell you there is this fruit called banana, is good, for instance, or watermelon, it is sweet, it's nice. You believe it. You have knowledge. Many people tell you have certainty. You have no doubt there is what's called watermelon, because many people tell you. How if you see it? They say here it's the watermelon. Now you have certainty. How if you test it? Now this more stronger than just hearing it, than just seeing it. So the knowledge has levels, not the same. Likewise, the iman, the faith. So based on how much the person believes this description of Allah, that Allah hears him, that Allah sees him, and he remember, is the more he acts according to that. Therefore, in the hadith, in the hadith Sahih Bukhari, إن لله 99 اسما من أحصاها 100 إلا واحدة من أحصاها دخل الجنة. Allah has 99 names, 100 except one, whoever encompasses it in knowledge and in action, he enters Jannah, he enters paradise. So in this ayah, that the word of Allah, the Quran, the speech of Allah is complete and is fulfilled with justice and with truth. If it ever happened, you have a question on that, on the justice of Allah's rules, Allah's commands, Allah's prohibitions. You have a question about Allah's information, subhanahu wa ta'ala, news and akhbar. Then remember this ayah. Yes, the news of Allah is truth, and the rules and regulations of Allah and His legislation is justice. It's your own problem. It's your lack of knowledge. Therefore, ask the people who knows. So Allah said in Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ ذِكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of knowledge if you do not know. This is the aqeedah of a believer. So anyone who opposes that, remember, he's a liar. Whether he say he's a Muslim, because some people, they claim to be Muslims, and they are liars. Allah knows them. They are hypocrite. Or whether this person, he openly say he's a non-Muslim, and he say negative things about the information mentioned by Allah, the information mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ. He say negative thing about the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have no doubt that he's a lying. فَمَاذَا بَعْدَ الْحَقِّ إِلَّا الضَّلَالِ. What's after the truth other than falsehood? So the truth is there. Anything contrary to it, opposite to it, is falsehood. Then Allah said, next ayah, verse 116, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَخْرُصُونَ. And if you obey most of those on the earth, they will mislead you far away from Allah's path. وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And if you obey most of those on the earth, يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, they will misguide you far away from Allah's path. إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ. They follow nothing but conjectures. They only follow assumptions, thoughts without knowledge. وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَخْرُصُونَ. And they do nothing but lie. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or any believer would have obeyed the most of the people on earth, he will be misled from the path of Allah. In the verse, that most of the people on earth are following desires, are following ignorance. They are not following knowledge with application. Most of the people. This is what Allah said. Today, how many Muslims on earth comparing to non-Muslims? Who is more number? Non-Muslims. Those Muslims who among them truly adhere to the Islamic teaching, not just by affiliation, not just by desire, but following and the deen of Allah, worshiping Allah upon knowledge. قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. Who from the Muslims truly following the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No innovation, no rejection. How many from them? Few. In reality, few. Yes, in reality, they are not that much. So, in this ayah, that if somebody will follow and obey those who are the most of the people who are on earth, he will be misled from the path of Allah. Who said that? Allah said, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. If you would have obeyed, if you obey most of those on the earth, يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ, they will mislead you far away from Allah's path. And many ayat in Quran, Allah said, وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُ. Nay, most of people don't believe it. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Most of people do not know it. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Most of them don't feel it, don't perceive it. That's the reality of the most of the people. That's the reality of the most of the people. Therefore, in the day of judgment, one person out of 1,000 will enter Jannah. One single person out of 1,000 will enter Jannah. 999 will go to fire. Na'udhu billahi minan nar. Of course, those people include the Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Those human beings called Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Some of the people of Nar, they differ. Where are those Ya'juj wa Ma'juj? Some of they say somewhere under the ground, inside the earth. They've been blocked there. And some of them, they say, no, they are on the earth. Then who are they? They say they are the Chinese. Yes. Who said that? Sheikh Sa'di, the Sahib Tafsir. Because there are hadith describing how they look like. But not today. Not today. It's not today. It's when they're coming out. If that's the strong opinion, that's when they're coming out after Prophet Isa alayhi salam descend. Naam, that's when. Just like Dajjal, that human being, he's somewhere on earth. But now he is not going out. The day he goes out, things will change. One day will be equal to 1 year. Another day will be equal to 1 month. Another day will be equal to 1 week. The rest of his days, he will be 40 days on earth. Dajjal, the rest of the days are normal days. While he corrupted the earth, Allah descend Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, who will kill Dajjal. Then Ya'juj wa Ma'juj will come. This is, so those people who are very much number, they are included, those who will go to hellfire because they are not Muslims. Al-Muhim, in the ayah, the most of the people are upon misguidance. Therefore, when it comes to the truth, it's not known through a number. When it comes to the truth, something right, something wrong, it's not known through a number. So if the most of the people support, we say it is the truth. If less people support, we say it's falsehood. In Islam, this is not the way to know the truth. Based on this ayah and many ayat. Rather, the truth is known through to the revelation. فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. If you differ in anything, Allah says, return it back to Allah. What does that mean? To the Quran, to the speech of Allah. And وَالرَّسُولِ, and to the messenger. Means to him, in his lifetime, and to his way of life after his death. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah said, إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. If you truly believe in Allah and last day, if you differ in anything, take it back to Allah and to the messenger. In another, Allah said, وَمَا اخْتَلَفْتُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَحُكْمُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Whatsoever you differ, his ruling is with Allah. Nowhere Allah said in Quran, if you differ in anything, follow the majority of the people. There's no anything like that. So now those ideas to people to be said, to know if alcohol is allowed or not, if such evil thing is allowed or not, let we vote for it. Let we vote. Let we make elections. Let we make vote the majority. They say alcohol is good, marijuana is good, then it is good. Maturza is bad, is bad. This is not a correct way to know the right thing. It's not correct way to know the wrong thing. It's wrong. And you find some Muslims being on that path, thinking if they are with the most of number, they are upon haqq. It happened. One of the masajids here in Georgia, one time another brother was praying Asr prayer, and in the entrance they have a big sign saying they thought they understand Quran and Sunnah according to their understanding of W. Imam Warithuddin. And then after the Asr, we met with the Imam. We asked, "Oh Imam, why you said this? We understand Quran and Sunnah according to the understanding of Imam Warithuddin." When did he die, by the way, Imam Warithuddin? How many years ago? Or is he still alive? Yes? 2008. Jazakallah khair. So someone died 2008. Oh Imam, someone live in our time. Why are you saying you understand Quran and Sunnah according to his understanding? Where is the understanding of the companion of Prophet ﷺ? This is the way of Ahlul Sunnah. They say, اتباع القرآن والسنة على فهم السلف الصالح. Following Quran and Sunnah according to understanding of Salaf, which means the Sahaba, the companion. Why? We ask it. Knowing that the companion, those are those who know the language of Prophet ﷺ. Imam Warithuddin is not Arab. Even if he studied Arabic, he's not like those who this is their mother language, especially the Quraysh were very eloquent. Who used to compete one another in Arabic poem, shi'r. Naam. Even if he is the same in knowing the Arabic language, then he didn't know the culture of Prophet ﷺ. Yes. Even if he would have known the culture, he wouldn't see the Prophet ﷺ himself. Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala alayhim, with all that, seeing the Prophet ﷺ, knowing his language, knowing his culture, his expressions. More than that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised them. Allah mentioned He's pleased with them. And in order somebody Allah to be pleased with, Allah make a condition to follow them. السابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. Sahaba, companion of Prophet ﷺ. And today you see the Rafidas, the Shia. La ilaha illallah. They curse all the Sahaba except a few individuals, less than 10 people. The rest with the Shia Rafid, they kuffar. They curse Abu Bakr and Umar, the best of the Sahaba. They curse the wife of Prophet ﷺ, Aisha. They curse Abu Hurairah. They curse the companion of Prophet ﷺ. And Allah mentioned in His Quran, He is pleased with them. لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ يُبَايِعُونَكَ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرِ. Allah is pleased with the believers when they give you oaths of allegiance under the tree. From those who are Abu Bakr and Umar and Ali and others. Al-Muhim. So, the religion is not known through a number. So when we asked the Imam, he said, what do you say makes sense? But there's one reason, yes. He said Imam Warithuddin have 2 million followers. He said he has 2 million followers. Yes, Akhuna Muhammad Adam was with me. You can ask him. He said he has 2 million followers. We said, oh Imam, okay. He has 2 million followers. How many number are the Christians? And he mentioned bigger number. We said, are they upon truth? He said, no. He said, then that doesn't show anything. He said, that's true. But he has to meet with the board member of the masjid to make a decision what to do. If they accept it, he will remove that from the masjid. That's another issue. The religion you don't know through board member. You don't know through number. You know through, Allah said, the Messenger said, Sahaba, companion of Prophet said it. So in this ayah that the most of the people, if you follow the most of the people, they misguide you from the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. Today, many people, they look how many people follow them, how many people listen to them, how many people say, I like them. Just so that they think they are upon haqq. How many number they have? This is not true. If you know the Quran and Sunnah, you know this is very far from the truth. Even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, يأتي النبي وليس معه أحد. A prophet will come, have nobody with him. Prophet of Allah, he get revelation from Allah. Allah sent him to people to call to the good. He has nobody believe in him. Prophet Nuh was calling people to 950 years. فلبث فيهم 1000 سنة إلا 50 عاما وما آمن معه إلا قليل. No one believe in him but few. Few. Some ulama they say about 80 or 70, around that. Some they say 12. وما آمن معه إلا قليل. Only few believe in him. So after that, how do you know? How do you know the mature Prophet Muhammad? How many years he was in Mecca calling people to Islam? Yes. In Mecca, 13 years. In Medina, 10 years. So he sallallahu was a prophet calling people to Islam. How many years? 23. Those 13 years he was in Mecca, how many Muslims believe in him? Hundreds. Not that much. Very few people. Not even 1,000. Very few people. 13 years. And someone, he just right now something information and he send it to social media and he find thousands of people saying, I like it. He say, I'm upon haqq. Yes. 2 million followers. This is not the way to know the haqq. The haqq has a way to know it. It is whatever is according to the Quran and Sunnah being understood strictly the way the Sahaba understood radiallahu anhu. So those things now being propagated, the democracy is this one. Even some also they leave the Quran and Sunnah. They instead take this ruling, democracy, judge. They remove the Quran and Sunnah. And they Muslims. Means they don't understand Quran. In the Quran, if they understand this ayah of Surah An'aam 115, in the rule of Allah is justice. And in the use of Allah Azza wa Jalla is the truth. In the rules of Prophet ﷺ is justice. In the news of the Messenger ﷺ and his information is the truth. Nasallallahu salam wal afiyah. Then Allah said in the next ayah, verse 117, إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ يَضِلُّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. Verily your Lord, it is He who knows best who strays from His way. Or strays from His way. And He knows best the rightly guided ones. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. Verily your Lord, O the Messenger of Allah, your Lord, it is He who knows best who strays from His way. It's Allah who knows the best who is misguided, who is off-guided from His way. Even Allah knows, even Prophet ﷺ doesn't know that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the most knowledgeable from human in regard to the religion of Allah, didn't know who was upon guidance, who was not, except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed him. Therefore, Allah said to the Prophet ﷺ, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْمَدِينَةِ مَرَدُوا عَلَى النِّفَاقِ لَا تَعْلَمُ. From the people of Medina, those who went too far in hypocrisy, you don't know them, O the Messenger of Allah. They are in Medina, living with the Prophet ﷺ in Medina city. At the time, Prophet ﷺ doesn't know they are hypocrite. Allah said, نَحْنُ نَعْلَمُ. It's we, it's us who know them. سَنُعَذِّبَ مَرَّتَيْنِ. We punish them twice. Because they cheat. They are upon disbelief. They deserve punishment. And with that, they also hide their disbelief to corrupt the Muslims and to spread innovations and divisions among Muslims. So, even Prophet Muhammad, he didn't know, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who is upon guidance, except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell him about that. So Allah is huwa a'lamu biman dalla an sabil. Verily your Lord, it is He who knows best who strays from His way, who strays from His way, who is misguided from His way. وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. And He knows best the rightly guided ones, those who deserve to be guided. Allah knows those who deserve to be guided. Naam. Allah knows the best those who deserve to be guided. إن ربك هو أعلم إن ربك هو أعلم من يضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين. وهو أعلم بالمهتدين. Allah knows subhanahu wa ta'ala who deserve the guidance. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to know that his uncle who used to support him strongly, Abu Talib, is about to die, he went to him and he called him to La ilaha illallah. And with Abu Talib, his friends in disbelief, Abu Jahl and others, 3 men, who were calling, Abu Jahl and other 2 men, who were calling him to be upon the way he was upon of idol worshipping. Then he died upon that idol worshipping. That hurt the Prophet ﷺ. Some narration mentioned he shed tears sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah revealed ayah in Surah Al-Qasas, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. The end of that verse and the end of this is the same. وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You, O the Messenger of Allah, don't guide who you love. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. But Allah guides whom He wills. وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. Allah knows the best who deserve the guidance. Allah knows the best who deserve the guidance. So never ever say somebody, if Allah would have guided him, he would be a good Muslim. He would be so and so good. Allah knows the best who deserve to be guided. وَأَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. You give da'wah, call people to good, call them to the good, encourage them to do the good, to leave the bad. Other than that, it's Allah who knows who deserves to be guided, and Allah who knows the best who went astray from His path. Then next ayah Allah said, verse 118, فَكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ إِن كُنتُم بِآيَاتِ مُؤْمِنِينَ. So eat of that meat on which Allah's name has been pronounced while slaughtering the animal. If you are believers in His ayat, in the proof, His evidence, His verses, lessons, signs, revelation, etc. of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah said in this ayah, فَكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. So eat of that on which Allah's name has been pronounced while slaughtering the animal, or those lawful beasts to eat. If Allah's name is mentioned, then you eat it. Allah's name is mentioned. If you are a believer, if you believe the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who made those things lawful. وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. And why should you not eat of that, means meat, on which Allah's name has been pronounced at the time of slaughtering the animal? وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِلَّا مَا اضْطُرِرْتُمْ إِلَيْهِ. While He, Allah, has explained to you in detail what's forbidden to you except under compulsion of necessity. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا لَيُضِلُّونَ بِأَهْوَائِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُعْتَدِينَ. And surely many do lead mankind astray by their own desires through lack of knowledge. Certainly your Lord knows best the transgressors. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. And why should you not eat of that on which Allah's name has been pronounced? Why you don't eat what Allah's name has been pronounced on? Something is slaughtered, Allah made lawful, then the slaughterer said, Bismillah, then why you don't eat? Because there are some people who don't eat it. Even though Allah made lawful, but they don't eat it. They don't see permissible to eat it. From wahyu min ash-shaytan, revelation from the devil. And subhanAllah, even that includes today some Muslims. Some Muslims, some tribes, they don't eat certain portion of the animal. Some they say they don't eat they don't eat what did they say? هذه عادات جاهلية موجودة. They say they don't eat the katif, they don't eat the head, they don't eat the stomach, they don't eat so and so from the animal. If the little child see meat and he wants to eat, they find out, they throw it from him. They say, we don't eat this. نعم. Allah said, وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. And what's the matter with you? You don't eat of that on which Allah's name has been pronounced. When it was being slaughtered, Allah's name is mentioned. Then why you don't eat it? وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِلَّا مَا اضْطُرِرْتُمْ إِلَيْهِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to the people in detail what's forbidden to them, except under compulsion of necessity. Even what was forbade of meat, you are allowed in a state of necessity. And it's very few. And Allah forbade it because of the harm for the human, like animal which not slaughtered, like the pork meat, and those danger animal which have full of poison. Allah said, وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا لَيُضِلُّونَ بِأَهْوَائِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. And surely many do lead mankind astray by their own desires بغير علم, through lack of knowledge. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُعْتَدِينَ. Verily your Lord knows best the transgressors. So in this ayah, to eat that which has been mentioned in the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yes. We that tribe, we that clan, we don't eat this. We don't eat the leg, we don't eat this, we don't eat this. This one is eaten by the woman, this one is eaten by man. They divide the animal that Allah made, all of it lawful, into pieces. Even there are some animals, they don't even eat it. It dies by itself because they say this is for the saint, for the sheikh, for the wali. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. In next ayah, Allah said 120, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. And leave off, and leave sin open and secret. Leave the sin, the open one and the secret one. The one done secretly and the one done openly. Leave both of it. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْسِبُونَ الْإِثْمَ سَيُجْزَوْنَ بِمَا كَانُوا يَقْتَرِفُونَ. Verily, those who commit sin will get due recompense for that which they use to commit. Allah said, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. Leave, means all mankind, all kinds of sin, open and secret. There is a secret sin and there is an open sin. Shaykh Sa'di, when he explained this ayah, inshallah, we'll ask one of brother to read for us. He give a great meaning. He explained what is the secret sin and what is the open. This ayah, Allah said, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. Leave off, leave the ism, the sin, the open one and the secret one. Shaykh Sa'di mentioned that many people, they do not know this secret sin.
Do not eat anything of which Allah's name has not been pronounced. For sure, this is a sin. The devilish ones inspire their friends to argue with you. If you obey them, you would become idolaters.
لا, that's not. Okay, where do you read it? Say again, please. Yes, you're right. Okay, you're right. Go ahead, Barakallah.
Included in this portion, in his prohibition, are all those things on which a name other than Allah's has
لا,
been
لا, لا, لا. That's
not.
no. Verse 120. وذروا ظاهر الإثم وباطنه.
avoid sin, whether openly or in secret, because those who commit sin will be recompensed for what they committed. The word sin here refers to all evil deeds that cause a person to become sinful, meaning place him in sin and evil regarding the matters that pertain to the rights of Allah and the rights of people. Allah prohibits His servants from all sins, whether hidden or obvious. Bodily or spiritually, or whether they are committed in secret or in open. A person will never be able to rid himself of his secret and open sins until he researches them and knows them. Therefore, researching and knowing the bodily and the spiritual sins becomes mandatory on every person who will be held accountable for his sin, for his deeds. People do not often realize the various sins they are indulging in, especially the sins of the heart, such as egotism, pride, ostentation, etc. This is because of the ignorance of lack of knowledge. Subsequently, Allah declares that the person who commits sins in secret and in the open will be punished according to the quantity and the severity of the sin. This punishment shall be given to him in the hereafter, or it can occur in this world, so that a person's sins becomes disgraced or expunged, decreased or expunged.
In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. Leave means all mankind, all kinds of sin, open and secret. And the Shaykh mentioned that many people didn't realize some of the secret sin, and he mentioned the arrogance. He mentioned the showing off. He mentioned the pride. These are major sin. And in another explanation for ayah in Surah An'aam, the Shaykh mentioned that it's even bigger than zina. Yes, the arrogance, showing off, pride, self-amazement, and the like. This secret sin, he said, is bigger than the zina, is bigger than stealing. Many people, they do not know the danger of those things. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ. Leave the ظاهر الإثم, open sin, وَبَاطِنَهُ, and it is hidden one. And the Shaykh mentioned, rahimahullah, that this ayah encompasses all the sin, to live off all kinds of sin, whether it's al-muta'alliqah بحقوق الله, whether it pertains to the rights of Allah, it relates to the right of Allah, or وحقوق عباده, it pertains to the rights of Allah's creation. Allah has rights, subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be fulfilled, and the creation have rights to be fulfilled. So it's not allowed anybody to transgress those rights. فنهى الله عباده عن اقتراف الإثم الظاهر والباطن. So Allah forbade His servants to commit the open sin and the hidden one, the bodily one and the spiritual one. أي السر والعلانية, the secret and the open. المتعلقة بالبدن والجوارح والمتعلقة بالقلب. The sin relate to the body, the sin relate to the heart. There is sin which relate to the heart. The Shaykh said, ولا يتم للعبد ترك المعاصي الظاهرة والباطنة إلا بعد معرفتها والبحث عنها. And person will not be able to live off the open and the hidden sin except after knowing it and searching it. فيكون البحث عنها ومعرفة معاصي القلب والبدن والتعليم والعلم بذلك واجبا متعينا على المكلف. Therefore, seeking those types of sin, those sin relate to the heart, like the arrogance, like the show off, pride, and the like. And those sin relate to the body, like stealing, lying, and the like. And knowing it, the Shaykh said, واجبا متعينا. It's a mandatory individual requirement upon every mukallaf, everyone who will be held into account for what he does. The Shaykh said, وكثير من الناس تخفى عليه كثير من المعاصي. Many from the people, a lot of sin is hidden from them. They don't know it. خصوصا معاصي القلب, especially the sin of the heart. Many people, they may take care of their physical appearance. They may dress well, nice imama, nice hijab, for instance. But they're not aware of also there is that important body, part of the body, the heart. It also needs purification. It also needs taking care of. The Shaykh, he gave an example. He said, كالكبر, like the arrogance. It's in the heart. والعجب, the pride. Somebody feel he's higher. Self-amazement. He's a special person. He's better than the other people. He belittle other people. والرياء, showing off. He says statement. He does actions. He gives sadaqah. He recites Quran. He is a Muslim. He does what he does to show off. People to praise him. People to hear him. This is a sickness of a heart. But who knows? Only Allah knows that. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. Therefore, Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned the first three people who will be burned in hellfire. The first three people. One of them was the one who started the religion and teach others. He started the religion of Islam and he teach others until he became a scholar. But he didn't do that for the sake of Allah, but to be praised. People to say he's a sheikh, he's a scholar, he's this. Subhanallah. And another one who spent his wealth into the cause of Allah, like building a masjid and to the cause of Allah. But he didn't do that for the sake of Allah. He did that in order to be said he's generous. He's generous. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. And another one, he even died in the battlefield, in the cause of Allah, with the believers. But he didn't do that for the sake of Allah. He did that in order to be said he's brave. He's a very brave man. Some people, that's why they fight. He lost his life, his soul, his family in order to be said by a human being. He's brave. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. He's generous. He's a scholar. He's alim. He's sheikh. He's a good Muslim. She's a good Muslimah. نعم. They get nothing from Allah Azza wa Jal. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. Because Allah made clear in His Quran, Prophet Muhammad mentioned in the Sunnah, that in order Allah to accept it from someone an act of worship, it has to be two conditions. One condition is what? Yes, al-ikhlas, to be sincere, to do it for the sake of Allah. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. We feed you, O poor people. We feed you لوجه الله, for the face of Allah. Seeking the face of Allah. We're doing this to see Allah's face. We're doing this for the sake of Allah. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. We don't want from you جزاء, reward, nor شكورا, thanking. Some people, they help the needy people and they want to get more from the other people. And some people, they don't want to get any physical things. The only thing they need praise and thanking. He's generous. These righteous people, they don't spend because of any of these two reasons. Rather, إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. We feed you for the sake of Allah. They don't say this in their heart. You give sadaqah to someone, you don't say, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. No, you don't say that. Now you're praising yourself. This itself, it may also go to the showing off. You give him. You keep whatever you have in your heart. So this is one condition. Someone does what he does of act of worship for the sake of Allah. Muslim, she take hijab, she take niqab, a brother, he does Muslim, he take his clothes above the ankle, he grow his lihya, all that just to please Allah. Not what people will say. He shouldn't do it for the people and he shouldn't leave it for the people. He shouldn't shave his beard for the people. And he shouldn't let it grow for the people. People shouldn't have anything in this. Rather, he does it for sake of Allah. Second condition is to do it, even though you do it for the sake of Allah, still it's not accepted unless you do it in the correct way. The way Allah legislated. Yes, Isha prayer is 4 rak'ah, don't make it 5, let alone 10. Just a 4. The way it was legislated. Yes, Allah said in Surah Al-Kahf, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. These are the 2 conditions. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watched the hearts of the people, their intentions. Based on your intention, you'll be rewarded. So many times we worry about our physical appearance, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also consider the intentions. إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا إلى أجسامكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. Allah doesn't look your image, your physical appearance, your body. Allah consider what? 2 things. إلى قلوبكم, your hearts, mean your intentions. وأعمالكم, and your action. If you say my action is good, regardless of my intention, it will not benefit you. If you say my intention is good, I'm doing for sake of Allah, but you don't also care about the action to be according to the way Allah legislate, you get nothing from Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Sallallahu wa sallam barak ala nabiyina Muhammad.